What's going on, everybody? Jesse here. I don't normally do like wrestling reviews or anything, but I like to make it a point to watch WrestleMania every year. I'm not a wrestling channel by any means. I don't do any wrestling videos, but I want to give a review of WrestleMania 32, which I just finished watching about a half hour ago. It's 12:29 a.m. I didn't watch the pre-show. Didn't really care for it. So we're just going to get right to the main show. And that was Zack Ryder versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler versus Stardust and versus Sin Cara for the Intercontinental title in a ladder match. I thought this was a phenomenal match. I felt like Sin Cara was there for no reason. Really, he just jumped off of high places like 3 times, and that was it for him. And it was very shocking to me that Zack Ryder won the match and actually won the Intercontinental title. I felt like he was out of place in that match. Like, how did he get there? Like, I don't watch Raw or SmackDown or anything, so but I know of him. I like keep track of some of the stuff, but I don't watch the shows, you know what I'm saying? So I would give that match like a 7 of 10. It was on the pretty good side. It wasn't the best match, but it was a really good match. A lot of good spots. Next match was Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. A lot of back and forth between the both. At the end, Chris Jericho was able to pick up the victory, but I figured AJ Styles was going to pick up the win. He was on the offensive more than Chris Jericho towards the end, and man, it was finally good to see him do a Styles clash. But you know, it is what it is. Chris Jericho wins another WrestleMania. You know, you figured it's AJ Styles' first WrestleMania. You'd give him the win. But yeah. Sorry, I got a text there. The next match was the League of Nations versus the New Day. I must say, okay, a lot of people don't like the New Day. I personally like the New Day. I like them because they're funny. I don't like them for their wrestling by any means. I like them because they're entertaining. I liked how the box of cereal fell over the Bootios, whatever, and they came out in the Dragon Ball Z the Saiyan armor. I thought it was funny. I was looking at Facebook and a lot of people disagreed with that. But I thought it was pretty cool. And I really liked how at the end of the match, by the way, League of Nations won. I really liked at the end how Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Mick Foley, and Shawn Michaels came out. Because the League of Nations basically were like, hey, no 3 men can beat us or whatever, because they're 4 men, and so the New Day removed one of them. So Shawn Michaels and Mick Foley and Stone Cold took out Sheamus, Rusev, and why can't I think of the other guy's name? Alberto Del Rio. And they each did their finishers, you know, predictable thing that nostalgia brings. It's always their finisher and their classic moves. And then they ended up throwing King Barrett in, and they did the same thing to him. Shawn Michaels gave him Sweet Chin Music, and then Mick Foley gave him Sacco, and then Stone Cold gave him a Stunner, and then, you know, celebrating with the beers, middle finger in the air, and then the New Day to try to get them to dance, and Stone Cold wasn't having it, and he stunned Xavier Woods, which I thought was funny. But that was that match. That was pretty good. Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. This match, it really disappointed me. I felt like it was just the number of two things. Brock Lesnar giving Dean Ambrose suplexes, and Dean Ambrose hitting Brock Lesnar with kendo sticks. Most of the weapon used was kendo sticks. And then, towards the end, Dean Ambrose throws, like, 7, 8 chairs into the ring. And, I'm pretty sure they were only landed on twice. Brock Lesnar did a German suplex, but he landed on him, and he basically threw Dean Ambrose over the chairs. And then Dean Ambrose did the dirty deeds and completely missed the chair. You can clearly see that he missed the chairs. And Michael Cole's like, oh my god, he hit the chair. He didn't hit no chair. But you knew it was over when Brock Lesnar actually did the German onto the chairs and then did the F5 onto the chairs. I did like the fire extinguisher, and I was kind of disappointed that Dean Ambrose didn't use the barbed wire baseball bat. That was kind of disappointing. But, I mean, otherwise, match was pretty disappointing to me. It wasn't anything spectacular. The hype was there, but nothing special. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the brand new Women's Championship. They said it's going to be the first Women's Champion tonight, but everybody knows that there's already been a Women's Championship belt, but we're not going to go there. This was actually a really good match. A lot of physical wrestling moves, an impressive backflip moonsault by Charlotte to the outside. I must say, very, very good match. Sasha Banks had an impressive entrance. Snoop Dogg sang the entrance music with some girl I've never heard of. I really thought Sasha Banks was going to win just because she had the bigger entrance, you know, and the fans are more for her. You know, you figured WWE would actually listen to people, but, you know, I guess Charlotte is the better champion. Whether you like her or not, she really is a good women's champion. I like her. But I would not have minded seeing one of the other two won, but Charlotte, good job. The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon in Hell in a Cell. For me, personally, this was the match of the night, and I'm sure it was match of the night for a lot of people. It was brutal. If this wasn't the Undertaker's last match, then I don't know what will be. So much, it was incredible. When Shane McMahon pulled out the bolt cutters to cut open the side of the Hell in the Cell, and then Undertaker smashed Shane through the cell wall onto the German announce table. Man, that was incredible. And then there was a point where Undertaker was gonna throw Shane off of the little table there where Lillian Garcia sits, and then Shane McMahon jumps on the Undertaker with the sleeper hold, and Undertaker just throws his body. It's like, man, I feel like every year the Undertaker, he hurts himself, like to the point where he needs to go to the hospital, like against Brock Lesnar 2 years ago, and then last year I forget who he faced. But after the streak, honestly, was broken, Undertaker at WrestleMania has become irrelevant to me, like even who he's faced. But this year was very spectacular, and of course the highlight of that match is actually this picture right here, shown right next to me here. Shane McMahon jumped off the Hell in the Cell with an elbow drop onto the table. Undertaker moved last minute, and Shane McMahon went down into the table. Kind of shades to King of the Ring 98. Not anything remotely close, because it was Undertaker that threw Mankind off the cell then. But Shane McMahon, guy has balls. He has balls, and I commend Shane. That was a great match of the night. He was carried off in the stretcher. Undertaker walked out on his own. Shane gave us a thumbs up that he was good at the end there, and yeah, fantastic. My only thing about this match is, like, there was really no reason for Undertaker to be facing Shane McMahon. It's like Vince McMahon just threw Shane in there, you know. It's like, why did they bring Shane back, make all this hype for 2 months straight that he you know, if he wins, he's going to take over Raw, blah, 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 the Authority will be done, and then it's like, he goes, does all this crazy stuff, dives off the cell, and then he ends up losing. It's like, and then on the other factor, it's like, Vince McMahon, I need someone to face The Undertaker, because Undertaker needs to be at WrestleMania, because he's old, and, you know, he's the only thing people want to see at WrestleMania. So it's like, I'll throw him Shane McMahon. So it made no sense to me that Undertaker fought Shane, but overall the match was spectacular. Match of the night. If that was the main event, I would have been very happy. And then there was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and it was interesting. They had a bunch of random wrestlers walking out at first, and then they had 3 entrances. They had Mark Henry, Kane, Big Show. They had 4 entrances, my bad. And then Shaquille O'Neal. So random, Shaquille O'Neal. And, like, as Shaq was coming out, I was looking at the ring, and I noticed that one of those random wrestlers that came out at the beginning was Tatanka. Where did Tatanka come from? Where did he go? When did he come back? Why was he part of this match? So it's like, so they start off the match. They try to get rid of, you know, Shaq and Big Show right away, but, you know, they're both big guys, and, you know, they throw them. Shaq threw a pile of guys, Big Show threw a pile of guys, and then, you know, Shaq eliminated one guy, Big Show eliminated one guy, and then they went to go after each other, and then the whole crowd comes in and throws both of them out. So Shaq and Big Show are off. The 2 big guys, they're all gone already. Mark Henry is nowhere to be found. He got knocked out during the push from Shaq. And then, you know, you have, like, Tatanka in there doing his little stomp. And then, you know, he gets eliminated after doing that crap. And the bottom line is, it's like, oh, DDP was there too. Like, he had an entrance. Why DDP? Like, he's so random, out of place. He's not like a current guy. Tatanka and DDP should not have been part of that match. At the end, Baron Corbin ended up winning. I couldn't agree more. I was rooting for Baron Corbin that whole match. He needs to come up to the main roster, and he needs to take over. He needs to replace Roman Reigns. Get Roman Reigns out of there. So that was a good match. Very good match for a little battle royal. Then they had this random, you know, talk about filling time and wasting time. They had The Rock come out after the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders did a pointless 1-minute little dance. The Rock comes out with a flamethrower, and essentially he just blew fire at his logo, his name, and it lit on fire. And he came down the ring, and he's like, oh, we set a new attendance record, 101,000, whatever. You know, it's like, okay. And then his music hit. I actually went to the bathroom at this point, because I'm like, man, this is kind of pointless. But I come back down, and Bray Wyatt is on the way to the ring. So, Bray Wyatt talks to him about how he's going to decimate him and remove him and blah, blah, blah. He's the most popular, he's the one, the great one, the champion, the blah, blah, blah. And then The Rock basically challenges them to a match. So he takes off his shirt and his pants, he has his ring gear on, puts his elbow pads on, he faces Eric Rowan. You know, why Eric Rowan? Why not Bray Wyatt? That would have been awesome. So they throw random Eric Rowan at him, who got rock bottom, and he won in 6 seconds. So it's like, okay, he rolls out. Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, they all get on the sides of the ring surrounding the Rock, you know, and they get in to go get him, and then John Cena comes back, you know. You can't see me, you know. It's been so long since John Cena's been back, and, you know, I'm not a big fan of John Cena, but he is from around where I live. So it was refreshing to see that, but, you know, of course the whole place booed him. They booed him at the Hall of Fame last night. So it's like, it was kind of, I don't know, it was definitely time filler, and it just seemed out of place to me. 1 second. And then we had the final match, which was Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt. Triple H's entrance, I thought it was pretty cool. They had those random masked people in the beginning, like, I don't know. Then Stephanie McMahon came out wearing like a skull mask, and she has like all crazy hair and whatnot, and she's like calling the fans peons and that they're cheap and stuff, and, you know, being real heel about it. And then Triple H comes out, and he's got these guys wearing skull masks carrying World Heavyweight Championships, and they're all coming down, you know. He does his entrance, this, that, and the fans are all cheering. The fans are all cheering, and then Roman Reigns comes out with his song, and, you know, it's like every single person, I'm pretty sure, booed him. Oh, I didn't hear a single cheer. I don't think I heard a single cheer. Just booing, and, you know, why is Roman Reigns here? So, so basically, he was on the ramp there, and he did his, you know, boom to the ground, and, you know, it was supposed to be cool, like it showed it, like the ground breaking open, and Roman Reigns popping up, and then like 5 seconds later, fireworks went off. It's like totally out of sync, totally out of timing, and I wasn't impressed at all by Roman Reigns' entrance. So the match, very brutal. I am not over with Roman Reigns whatsoever. I could care less about Roman Reigns. I was rooting for Triple H the whole time. Him pumping his fist and thinking that his fist is the most godly fist in the world, that his is different from anyone else's in that ring, that he can knock out anyone, is totally not my thing. I don't believe that whatsoever, and he is not whatsoever a big person. So it's like, man, everything he did just, it's whatever. He did nothing, no wrestling moves. Triple H, you know, he did a few spine busters, a few atomic drops, arm bars. The guy went crazy, man. He ended up throwing Roman Reigns at the German announce table, since the other two tables were broken during Undertaker versus Shane. But the German table was never broken. It was just a lot of commotion around it. Roman Reigns ended up spearing Triple H through the barricade, which was kind of cool. And then, you know, Stephanie McMahon gets in an argument with the ref at one point, and it's like, why? So she gets in the ring to yell at him, I'm talking to you, don't walk away from me, blah, blah, blah. And then Roman Reigns goes to spear Triple H, and he moves out of the way, accidentally spears Stephanie McMahon, finally shutting her up. But Triple H ended up getting the sledgehammer, because, you know, if he hits Roman Reigns with the sledgehammer, he's gonna win. Well, he's gonna lose the match, but he's gonna keep the belt, which is what he wanted. But he missed. He got speared by Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns ended up winning the world title again. Nobody was impressed. It wasn't a phenomenal ending. They should have moved that match in Undertaker and Shane's spot and put Undertaker and Shane last, because that match destroyed Triple H and Roman Reigns, without a doubt. Overall, I enjoyed WrestleMania very much. It was 5 hours long, though. That's my one thing. I felt like the Rock segment was pointless. That could have been easy. The attendance record could have been easily said by a ring announcer. He didn't need the Rock to come out with a flamethrower, and talk about the attendance and then whatever. But overall, I'm gonna give this WrestleMania an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more so than I did last year's WrestleMania. But man, that's all. So thanks for watching. This has been my review of WrestleMania 32 live in Dallas, Texas. And this is going to be the last wrestling video you see from me until next WrestleMania. With that being said, you all have a good night. Get some sleep, because I know it's late, because I got to go to work. Have a nice night.